Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the welcome to the 230th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with my co-host and brother Slade W. Slade, I'm really glad that you wanted to come on the podcast here. You know, it's been a wonderful journey through recovery together in the recent months, and I'm hoping you could tell everybody a little bit about yourself right now.
Hi, I'm Slade W. I'm really looking forward to the next period of time spending with you guys. I've been dealing with alcoholism for about 40 years. I've been clean and sober now for just a little over 9 months. It's been an excellent journey, a great opportunity to get to learn about myself, but what I can improve and live a life of sobriety. It's a total different way of living. You know, I wish I would have done it many, many years ago, but I've done it now, and I've been very successful with a lot of support from other people. And I'll like to share some of my experiences with everybody.
Amazing. And so that rolls right into, today's topic, because just for everybody out there, Slade is coming up on the completion of the 12 steps, in the next couple weeks here. And so today's topic is going to be a journey through the 12 steps. And before we get into this topic here, I always ask this question to everybody the first time they're on here, Slade. What was the moment the program sparked a recovery fire in your heart, where it went from, I have to be here doing this, to I love to be here doing this?
Probably day 4 of being in treatment.
Okay.
The first few days were I was scared shitless. I was self with a bunch of people that I didn't know. And once I jumped in with both feet and really dedicated myself to the whole process of recovery, it was epic. My mind became wide open, my heart was wide open, and I was willing to do whatever it took to take it to another level.
Okay.
And here I am today.
So a little background is that, I've known Slade since about 2009. And just by some miracle of chance, we separately, in different time intervals, went to the same treatment center. And I happened to be at my own home group meeting, and I saw Slade in the corner, and I thought, this sneaky motherfucker drives all the way to Kelowna to go to meetings. And I was like so happy to see you there, because it takes one to know one for trouble, right? And, neither one of us rolled into this program on a winning streak, right?
That's for sure.
And I just want to say that, the steps for me has been just a miraculous transformation of life. It's taken apart kind of an ego-driven life to having a spiritual awakening, to surrender, to loving completely, to forgiveness, to just opening up in so many ways. And, it's like meetings facilitate a certain part of this program, but the real program is the steps. And I'd like to say that I've witnessed Slade, really apply himself here on his journey through these steps. And, I'm so proud of you, man. So proud of, the joy and freedom in your eyes compared to 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Like it really is night and day. It's really a magical thing. Okay. So, let's just roll right into the questions here. Okay. So when you were starting out in the steps, right?
Yeah.
Were you able to lovingly surrender the idea that you could manage your life in order to embrace a freedom that you found in admitting the powerlessness over that storm that was your life back then?
Oh, definitely. Once I, got out of my head and realized that I couldn't do this on my own, that my life was totally unmanageable, man. I was going down, knocking on death's door. And once I, embraced and accepted and were willing to jump in with both feet and try to get my life back, I was, pretty much on the verge of losing a lot of things that were very important to me, and especially myself. I was certainly was not the person that I ever dreamt I'd be. I turned into some kind of creature from hell, man. I was totally
Yeah.
out of control. Um, the only time I didn't drink or do drugs, man, is when I was sleeping. That was the only time. And if I,
And were you even sleeping through the night, or did you have to get up to
oh,
re? No.
no, I never got through the night. There was oftentimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night and have a drink so I could put myself back or knock myself back out again. I
Yeah.
mean, I lived, especially the last 7 years of active addiction. I was never sober, ever, ever. I never went anywhere without a drink. If I was driving from my home to Penticton, I didn't gauge it on how much time it would take me. I gauged it on how many drinks I could fucking have, pardon my language, on
Yeah.
the trip. So if it was if it had to be a 26er there, it had to be a 26er coming back.
Yeah.
And it was totally unmanageable. It was a pathetic way to exist, when I look at it. But the steps really helped me manage and gave me guidelines of how to conduct myself. And it's been an excellent ride. The last 9 months have been unbelievable.
I've watched, that joy and happiness and serenity and contentment just come full force into your life during this process. So now, okay, let's go back in time a little bit because
Okay.
in order to address the first steps, we really have to talk about the past. It's not
Okay.
living in the past, but for somebody new out there who's about to go through the steps, I just think it bears, going back and talking about this. So,
Yep.
what did it feel like when you stopped fighting yourself and simply accepted that your best efforts at control led you to this moment of defeat?
Wow. I just couldn't function. I don't even have to, not even functioning. I could not exist without booze, man. Like that's all I knew. I mean, I was defeated when I walked into the treatment, man. It was like I was just a lost soul, and I had nowhere to go. I have problems with the abandonment, but I was abandoning myself. I had given up on myself. Um, we all go through life experiences, and the only way I've tried to manage them was through the bottle. I or getting stoned or both. Um, I was totally, totally lost. I had no direction in my life. I had no purpose in my life. My only goal every day was to numb out. The sooner the better. And just repeat. It was like Groundhog Day for years. Especially the last 6 or 7 years, where I had a lot of losses in my life. I was going through a lot of things that everybody goes through, but the way I was coping with it was totally destructive. I was never dealing with anything. I was avoiding everything. I procrastinating about it. I thought, well, I'll change my drinking habits. I'll only have two. Yeah, like two bottles, and at different times I'll only drink after three. Well, I'll only drink on days I'm not working. And then I retired at 55 and I wasn't working, so I had a lot of time. And it was all negative, destructive time every moment. I mean, there was no good in the end. And I'm glad I hit my rock bottom. And I hit many
Me
rock
too.
bottoms along the way, man. The last one it was epic. It was scary. It was very scary.
And so, what was the feeling about that admission that your life was unmanageable? Like, were you able to do that at that point and not feel shame about that admission of defeat, and feel that it was a first step towards this miracle of change, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing was the relief that I finally gave up. I finally gave up, and that whole feeling of uh, freedom, the freedom just to say and admit to myself, honestly admit to myself that I was a mess. And, I had three choices: either quit drinking, go to jail, or die. And two of those choices aren't very good. And so I said that's it. I got to, I got to dig in, be honest with myself, and really try to have some kind of peace in my life. Every time I was putting fires out, I wasn't remembering what I was doing. I was, it was a waste of fresh air. That's what I was, a waste of fresh air. And once I got to the point where I gave up and threw everything, caution to the whatever, and I just the freedom. I think freedom was the hugest thing, the relief that I didn't have to live the way I was anymore, that there was something better for me.
And okay, so now we've touched on the surrender of step one. And when that happened, did it relieve you of your desire to drink, or was that more gradual over time?
Oh no, I mean the obsession of drinking. It took a while for that to go away. I mean, I couldn't really give you a timeline on that of what
Yep,
day, but
yep,
it took some time. It
yep.
took some time to realize that I can't, rely on alcohol to get me through the day. I have to develop a different way of coping with my life. Um, so it took a period of time. I can't give you a defined time, like 10 days,
Mhm.
2 weeks. It just kind of happened over time. And now I mean, there is no thinking of alcohol. I don't think about it. It just doesn't enter my mind. Um, and that happened quite some time ago. But in the beginning, I still thought, well, at one time when I was in treatment there, it's like, I'll get these 30 days done, no problem. I'll have
Yeah.
control over this drinking. And when I get back out of here, look out, people, I'll be able to drink like a normal person. I'll be able to have two or three drinks and cut it off after that. And obviously, once I got through that stage, that to drinking is to die, and we've all heard that line. Um, yeah, that it took a while. It took a while to really after 40 years of my body and my mind knowing alcohol was what I did, it's gonna it took a long time for that to go away. It's gone now though.
Well, there's a lot of, there's a lot of triggers, there's a lot of patterns. Like you basically have to rebuild an entire life pattern.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I didn't go to places that I used to go. And in that time, I don't see the people I used to see. I mean, my phone doesn't ring off the hook anymore, let me tell you that. But then again, I don't reach out either. It's not that I don't trust myself if I was in situations where there's alcohol around me, because I do, and I have been around alcohol in my recovery, and it hasn't triggered me. But I was really aware of those things in the beginning. I
Oh
set
yeah.
myself for success. I didn't put myself and compromise myself. Um, I, 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 I stayed alone. I isolated myself, but I wasn't alone. I had my wife with me when I got out of treatment and stuff like that. So I wasn't isolating, but I certainly was intentionally in the beginning avoiding situations and drama and all those trigger things. I had to avoid it all. And like you said, rebuild my life, come out of the ashes and build a new life.
Now, for a lot of people entering into a program like this, the higher power or God thing is a big barrier. So we're going to go to step two, right, where we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Did
Okay.
you, first of all, did you realize that your actions were insane by this point?
I was the captain of the nut bar team, man. I
Yeah.
was Yeah, I was insane, all right. I was straitjacket material.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. It, it is the weirdest feeling when I look back at what I used to be like to compare to what I am now. And I was in a hurting machine, man. Um, yeah, it was a terrible situation.
Now, were you willing to surrender any contempt prior to investigation to believe that a power greater than your own addiction is currently reaching out to help you?
Definitely. I was very open mind. I always kind of had a belief in the spiritual connection in my life. Unfortunately, I drowned it in alcohol and it left me. So part of the program and part of my recovery was to entrust that whole idea of opening up my mind to the fact that there is something else besides me, meetings, my sponsor, everything like that. There's something else that could help me gain sobriety, and that's my spiritual connection. It's invaluable. It really is invaluable. It's made me believe more myself. It's given me peace and comfort when I have times um, that are um, maybe triggering or wanting to know if I'm doing the right thing. I just sit and in quiet and have a little chit chat and ask maybe for a God shot every once in a while to let me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm going the right direction. And the greatest thing about a spiritual connection is I don't have to go to a place of worship. It's not, I have to be somewhere on Tuesday at 8 o'clock or Sunday at 8 a.m. I could do it anywhere, anytime, driving in my truck, in a lineup, checkout at Walmart. I mean, I can make a connection within seconds, and it could last for 10 seconds or it could last for minutes. It is really gives me peace. And that's the biggest thing. It gives me peace.
And so, why do you believe that the founders of AA said that the power had to be greater than ourselves?
Well, I can't do it alone. You know,
Yeah,
there's no bloody way I can do this on my own. And, like when it, you need something else besides just going to meetings and 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 doing the step. It's not enough. There's got to be something else besides going to attending meetings and all. It's not. It's all encompassing, and the spiritual connection is kind of like the glue that really kind of holds it all together for me at times. And it's one of the most important part of my surrendering to my addiction was having a spiritual connection. It's made an epic changes in my life. I'm not alone anymore. I'm never alone now.
I love that. Okay, so we've gotten now step three. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. So, are you able to set the intention to resign as the director, surrendering that daily agenda to your higher power that knows way better than you do?
Absolutely. I try my life. I yeah, something was something. I mean, I couldn't do it on my own. I was a mess. I had no direction, blah, blah, blah. On and on it goes. I mean, to turn it all over to someone else, it could only get better. I mean, I was not doing well. I needed some help. And if that's what it took to develop a spiritual connection and hand it over to someone else to guide and direct me, then have at her, man. Just tell me what to do. I'll do the work. No problem with that. But I need to have direction uh, on what path to take, what to do, what not to do. And I said, like, I'll do all the work. I don't mind doing the work. I love doing the work, actually. But I needed some direction, and someone else can take over because I was doing a pretty shitty job of it.
And like for myself, I found it a big relief.
Absolutely.
I was I was overrun trying to
Oh,
run the frickin' universe. You
oh
know,
yeah.
like the freedom, the space inside my head that opened up when I stopped with that attempt at powerfulness, was it was exhausting by the end, right?
Absolutely. It was a hell of a relief.
Now, what specific worries have you been able to surrender, trusting that, your life is being carefully guided? Is there some specific worries in your life that have melted away due to this surrender?
Well, I don't, it's very interesting to me how much I don't worry about anything. I've come to the conclusion that what worrying, you just develop more fear, or fear of developed worry, and then anxiety through, got in the mix of all those three things, and they all fed off each other. I was living a life, I was scared shitless. I was worrying about if the sink was going to get clogged. Yeah, I was totally, totally worried about everything, and now I don't. I just don't worry. Things are going to naturally unfold, and worrying and fear and anxiety was just getting in the way. It's just I've wasted so much time and energy on worries. Like I always say to myself, every worry I've had in my 61 years on this planet, none of them have come true to the degree that I thought they would. Ever.
Yeah,
Ever. It just doesn't happen. um and now when they do, when now I have concern, not worry. You know, I don't magnify my worry. I don't have worry. I Tomorrow's tomorrow. When I get there, I'll be today. So I don't have worry anymore, and that's so comforting. It's so freeing not to be preoccupied in my mind about worry. It's just not there.
they say worry's praying for bad things to happen. It's like
Absolutely,
running an affirmation to end up in a shitty position. And
absolutely.
the one thing that that has been part of my journey has been, how the only connection we can have to our higher power or the universe, whatever you want to call it, is right now.
Yeah.
And any shame or guilt is living in the past, and any worry is living in the future. And they say if you got one foot in the past and another one in the future, you're pissing all over today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, and it's no surprise that to live in the present moment, it requires a real shift in our thinking. Like
Absolutely.
using gratitudes, using surrender, just to breathing, letting those other things go has been a big part of it. And so that kind of moves us beautifully here into the fourth step, because we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And this step I believe is kind of our first step of getting to really know ourselves.
I
The
agree.
first three steps is kind of getting to know our higher power. And now it's time for us to stop pretending about ourselves. And so, were you willing to surrender all the victim stories you told yourself for years to see the truth of your own part in life's dramas?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Man, I created a lot of my own problems. That's what I did. I was very closed-minded, and the whole pity party and victim, why me? Why me? Well, why not me? I mean, I'm not really living a very constructive lifestyle right now, so why wouldn't these things be happening to me? And looking and being really honest with myself, and knowing I'm a bit of a fuck up back then. Uh, it was I think just to be honest with myself and to know that I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. Like the only thing I can control in my life is myself, nothing else. I can't control nothing except myself. and to start to rebuild myself. And you're right, like step four is the beginning of self-awareness and rebuilding myself, putting myself back together after after falling apart big time, and not to be and not to be afraid of it, to realize that, man, I got some work to do, and be willing to do it and do whatever it takes to make that happen, and not to speed it along. Take my time with it. Make it right. Like build that nice solid foundation, and I feel I've done that. And to rush through it all, I'm not doing it the right way. It's to take my time. When I was in treatment, they said you had to get to step 5 to get your little piece of paper saying you've achieved something. Well, I powered through as quick as I could because I had to get it done. And I was doing it for the wrong way. So I slowed down and enjoyed it. I knew I'd get to have step 5 completed. That was not going to be the issue, but I didn't have to get all 12 done in 30 days. So I enjoyed the experience. I relaxed about it, and just realizing that I have to be honest with myself. I had to give up control of my life and rebuild it. When I was 60 years old in treatment, I was the oldest person there. Not to say that there's other people that don't go through treatment or try this process later in life, but there was 40 years of things that I had to really seriously look at, and start developing a way of fixing those problems and eliminating those problems. And it's a work in progress.
They call it searching and fearless moral inventory, and I always say it's the moral inventory that helps me fear less. And and so much of it, like our deepest fears and resentments are based upon being afraid to be wrong.
Yeah,
Like having that childhood trauma of the person whose fault it is gets punished. There's so many things that are just instinctual that no longer serve us. Like there's survival skills that we should have outgrown by the time we were 14. Did you find that with yours at all?
absolutely. I mean, I, I didn't want to be wrong because that wasn't good. Now I don't care if I'm wrong. I like being wrong, actually. Learn from it. I've learned a lot from my mistakes. And what was I thinking? Obviously, I wasn't thinking. And realizing that my expectations sometimes on other people were just way out of whack. Some people they couldn't have done what I wanted them to do, and then try to control or manipulate them to get what I want. Like, what the hell is that? Just let it go. And it's okay to be wrong, like you said. It's it's an opportunity to learn and to grow and try not to make that mistake again. You know, it 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 to keep everything simple is the key for me. Um,
Mm.
that's the key. A simple life, and don't complicate it anymore.
That's very well put. And part of that simplicity really is, from my side of it is I try to keep it to surrender, love, and forgiveness. If
Yep.
I if I if I keep it to those three things, I'm not fighting too big of a story there.
Yep. I'd agree.
So now, um, okay, so as your inventory unfolded, I know that you've done it twice now.
Yep.
Um, you know, were you able to see your inventory as a blueprint for your upcoming freedom?
Um, yeah. I think it has changed since the first time I did step 4 to the second time I've done step 4.
Mhm.
It's changed big time. I can look back at when I did it in treatment to where I've done it now, not that long ago, and it's changed. I mean, to have these resentments, to I don't really have those resentments in the past are gone and put away. Um, I've learned from them. I've learned from myself. I've learned how they've triggered my addiction. Um, the sense of freedom, it's kind of like step one. Once I surrendered the fact that had no control over alcohol, I controlled my life. It's very similar in step four. When I was willing to have some acceptance in my life about myself and my expectations of others. People are only going to do the best they can on any single moment. And same as me, I'm going to do the best I can at every single moment of every single day. And that's just the way it's going to be. And if I make a mistake, oh, well, I made a mistake. But just to sit back and relax and have freedom, it's just, I can't say how important that is to sit back, relax, and let things unfold and have really no expectations of others. I mean, I can only do what I could do for me. And yeah, I don't have to put fires out anymore. It's amazing.
But, like for myself, I feel that, the substances diluted my perspective so much that I didn't have an awareness about what
Oh,
I was doing or a real awareness of the reality of my relationships.
yeah. A lot of times I just compromise myself to be accepted. And I do, a lot of that was alcohol. All right, here's Slade, man. This is going to be fun. It's going to be, show up at a party at 4 o'clock Friday afternoon and leave Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I don't compromise myself anymore. I don't do things that I don't want to do. When
Mhm.
I was drinking heavily and drugging, I do things that I really didn't want to do. What am I doing this for? It was just an
Mm.
acceptance. I can't make people love me. I can't make people like me.
Yep.
I got to
Mm.
like myself and love myself first.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that took a long time just to accept me for who I am. And through sobriety, I'm a pretty damn good person, and I and I don't compromise myself for people to like me anymore. If they do, they do. I just try to guide myself as a nice person,
Yeah.
and uh, people are wonderful. If Hey, we all got our ups, we all got our downs, but people are all wonderful. Um, I just there's some people things I can't have in my life, and I realize that, and that's okay.
So, step five, we admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So, did you find it hard to surrender, your secrets and sharing your heart with other human beings, trusting that, your truth won't make you any like unlovable? Like, how was that experience for you?
Well, a couple of things that made step five easy for me was first of all to grab a pen and a piece of paper and write things down. And it started to make things more real. Is admitting to myself, just to myself on paper, that this is what's going on for me. And then to admit that and to share that with another person even made it more real. Like I'm actually telling somebody that, this is what's going on for me. This is what's happened. It was good. I mean, I loved it. I mean, step five was like a big, huge weight off my shoulder. And, I just say, I've actually admitted to somebody that I don't even really know, total vulnerability here. And it was okay, and that person they listened to it and they didn't judge it. They didn't say, well, wow, man, you're you're never going to get your life back. You're just way out there. They listened to it and it was freeing. It was very freeing to have that step done. And I've done it a couple of times, and each time it's like I'm walking on sunshine, man. Like when I was
Did
done
you
that,
experience the pink cloud after it?
oh boy, yeah, absolutely. Everything and it's still there. That
Yeah.
in my life now, if I encounter things, I can always repeat the steps, repeat the process. And I could use it in many other ways of my life. I think not even people that have addiction problems. I think the general public should try these 12 steps and get to really know themselves. And it would be probably a better place to, the world would be a better place if people got more into humanity and into themselves. But I found step five was a hell of a relief, a hell of a relief.
And so, do you now realize that your isolation was part of what kept you as a prisoner?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, for sure. I didn't want to admit that I was an alcoholic, that I am
Hmm.
an alcoholic. And I will be an alcoholic now for the rest of my life. And I know I just can't drink. And you know what? Who cares? You know, I don't drink. I don't drink. Big deal. Um, I don't need to drink anymore. I have no desire and admitting to myself my wrongs. I mean, and again, it's okay to be wrong.
Hmm.
I think you have to be wrong sometimes in your life to grow. You know, yeah,
So, do you think that love changed your fear to courage, and that vulnerability can become one of the strongest things about you?
absolutely. I mean, one of the greatest things in these last 9 months is learning, and I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I think I've learned, I had no focus when I was drinking all the time. I couldn't read an article in a newspaper because I had no focus. Now I think I've counted like 12 or 13 books
Wow.
on, how to be aware of things that could trigger like relapse prevention to childhood trauma to overthinking to believing in yourselves and how different cultures believe how they do it. I think sometimes there's other cultures that a spiritual being is more important than in other cultures, and reading about all that kind of stuff, it really has made me realize that I really love myself, and when I love myself, I can love others, and I can accept others. You know, People are just the way they are, and that's just okay. It's really
Nice.
just
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, well, okay, so now step five to step six here. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. This one really talks about a willingness to change. And for me, it's been a journey on this step. Even my biggest transformation in this step happened after 2 years. But do you feel that you're ready to surrender your character defects, even the ones that feel like your oldest friends? Or do you still have reservations?
uh, no, they can be removed anytime. I'm fine with that. I mean, uh, but having said that, two things. One, since I quit drinking, some of my character defects have just naturally gone away. Like
Yeah.
my whole anxiety level is totally. I just I don't have that anxiety from when I was drinking. Man, the anxiety level was over the top. So some of those things, a pity party, those things have naturally just kind of left because of just quitting drinking. But there's other character defects I just don't know if they're all going to go away right away. I think it's going to be time. I just really want them all to be watered down and diluted, so
Yep.
they're actually kind of manageable for me. And because I still need to learn more, I'm not angry like I used to be. That is for
Mm.
sure. But anger still rears its ugly head, not like I used to. I mean, I don't openly act upon my anger now. I've learned now to step back, think about it, and most of the time, it's my anger is ridiculous. It's angry for
Oh, I
what?
know. I know. I get it.
I'm getting so angry for what? Because someone spilled some milk? I mean, it's not like, but I want them all to be removed, but I am not in a hurry to have them all removed until I'm actually uh, learned enough. It's just it's not going to happen overnight. I guess if I'm trying to say it's going to take time. It's going to take more work. It's going to have to take more open-mindedness, more acceptance. My spiritual and that connection is doing the job that and they give me the guidance that I need. But I also have to do the work as well. Uh, it's going to take time. It's only been 9 months of living a life of sobriety, and it took me 40 years to get to where 40 years before that. So everything's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, and yeah, in time they'll all be gone. But I'm not rushing that.
Now, are you finding that you can love yourself complete with those imperfections currently while still being willing to let those parts be transformed?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually,
Yep.
I I find I laugh at myself. Like I'll be like, "Oh my God, really, Slade? Really?" Like think about that. And I think about that and go, "Yeah, okay. I'm glad I took counted to 10 before I responded."
Mhm.
Um, Realizing that a lot of the stuff, like I used to be such a patient person. I had patience for and as my drinking increased, my patience went the other way. Now I'm back to being patient. You know, does it really matter if this doesn't get done? Like, big deal. I'm loving myself more. I know that, okay, throw me in, champ. I can handle it. I don't have to be, I just have to be open minded and accepting of myself and accepting of others, and be tolerant. I mean, there's nothing, the more I am, the more I could deal with any of those big, huge life things that come down the road. And I've been very grateful that I haven't had to deal with any major life issues in the last 9 months. But if I have to now, I could do it. I know I could totally do it and be very successful with it. A clear minded, alcohol free, drug free body and mind. I'm not going to like it, but I know I could deal with it very well.
It's amazing how hope can turn to faith in that period of
Absolutely.
time, right?
Yeah.
Like I, I understand that this program is, a day at a time program. But I tell you right now that my faith in my program working tomorrow, as well as today, if I do everything that I'm doing,
Yeah.
I truly have faith in that.
Absolutely. And, I used to live a day, day at a time for sure, but now it's not so much like that anymore. I could think of tomorrow and know that I'm going to be safe and sober. In the
Mm,
beginning, I couldn't do that. It was like
hmm.
right now I'm sober, and half an hour from now I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
now I could think of today, tomorrow, and another week that I know at the end of the week I'll still be sober. I know I will be.
Yeah. Like I believe in this program to work
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely.
If I
Absolutely.
stop doing everything, I don't
Oh,
necessarily have a clue, but I
no.
don't want to find out.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'll never do that.
Yeah. Like that to me is just like baiting the tiger. Like I don't need
Oh,
a bite of that tiger.
yeah. I'm for myself, it won't end very well.
Yeah.
No, I need to keep on doing what I'm doing. And it's fun to do it. I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Okay, so now on to step 7. Humbly ask Tim to remove our shortcomings. So when you humbly surrender your self-will, um, how do you ask for the removal of these things?
Well, I'm involved in the step meeting. Like right after this get together, I go to a step meeting, and we did step 7, like us a week or two ago. And part of that, the homework was to write a prayer to have these traits removed. So I'm going to share that with you. Uh,
Okay.
and so this is what I put down. I write this letter to you to help me remove my character defects. I realize that some of my defects are and have a greater negative effect upon me than others. And as a result, I'm not asking for all of them to be removed, but at least limit the negative effect they have upon me. With your guidance, I'm willing to do all the work necessary to achieve this personal goal. I have worked hard to get to this point in my road to recovery and am ready to take the next step with the goal to live a peaceful and freedom and be able to help and support others as I do to myself. I consider this the beginning to achieve personal growth and spiritual development. And, when my spiritual connection is ready to help me, I'm ready to have that happen. Um, but maybe I'm not ready. Maybe it's not in my spiritual connection. Maybe it's not the thing that should be happening right at this moment, but maybe it is. I don't know. But I'm certainly ready and humbly ask, man, when you feel I'm ready to have that done, I'd like to have that done. But again, I'm ready to do. If it takes more work, then it'll take more work, and I'm fine with that. Why not?
And so, for myself, I realized last March that that I had decided that God, you got those things, I got these ones. I don't worry, I'm going to do it. And and I kind of started taking back over some things that I needed to surrender. Much like you were talking about anger for myself. You know, I know that I suck at removing anger, but when I surrender it, it seems to get a whole lot better. Same with my anxiety. How do you define where your work stops and your higher powers work starts?
I don't think I can. I don't know that. I mean, I just do more work. You know,
Okay.
I I have to rely on myself first. And if I
Hmm.
have to get another book and do some more reading about a different way of approaching it, or what, I just have to be open-minded. I'm not putting pressure on my spiritual connection to do that. I need to do the work. I need to believe in myself and that I could do it. And then, oh my gosh, I have something else, a power greater than myself to enhance that. Wow, I'm pretty lucky, man. I'm pretty damn lucky to have that.
Now, does it feel like relief to realize that you don't have to fix everything and that you can
Absolutely.
rely on that?
Absolutely. It's part of giving up control, like I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do this all by myself. I can't do it all by myself. It's impossible. There's just no way I could do it all by myself. And when I go to meetings and listen to people's shares, and that's very helpful too. And sometimes I think my spiritual connection is better by the people in that room. They enhance it. Um, we've all have similar uh, experiences, just a little different. To the degree is, I guess, the thing. I can't do. I don't really 100% rely on my spiritual connection to guide me the whole way through because I have to do the work. You know, I mean, I'll give up control. I have no problem with that, but I have to do my part, or
Mhm.
otherwise, I won't have a good belief in myself. I depend on my spiritual connection for sure, but I also, when I have those connections, I often give thanks. Thanks for getting me this far. Thanks for giving me hope. Thanks for knowing that I'm just going to be okay. You know, and I think it's better to ask for hope than always ask for help. I do need some help for sure, but you know, it's really a kind of sometimes hocus pocus because sometimes I'll have a prayer and all of a sudden something will happen. It's like someone's talking back to me, and that's happened many, 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 many times. It's like, Slade, you're doing okay. You're all right, man. Keep going. Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
well, am I going crazy here? And it's really a powerful thing when that does happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. So my guy upstairs is going to take care of me. I know that. But I have to do the work, make that person proud of me, make my spiritual connection proud. And yeah, I look forward to it.
And so, do you see the humility required to surrender your pride that you have to do all this alone? And that you can accept that there's some things that you can't do without help?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot that I can't do without help. You know, Uh, I'm a very humble person. I always, that I ain't better than nobody else. In fact, I'm probably a little worse than most. You know, my spiritual connection's got his or her hands full with me. I'm telling you. Uh, uh, but what's wrong with being humble? I think that's a great quality in somebody. I mean, it just shows that I'm not better than anybody else. Um, I think I could learn a little bit from everybody and be open-minded. And I can't, like I just have said it so many times, without like, besides just the program, the steps, yourself, I've got a great group of people around me. I have my sons, I have my wife, I have a stepdaughter, and all these people um, are motivating to me. And I know I can go to them. They've all told me that they're proud of me. And that's all I need to hear. You know, that alone uh, keeps me humble. It keeps me knowing I'm going down the right path. I get a little choked up
Yes.
when I talk about it, but
Mhm.
it's
It's
part of
nice to
surrender.
have people who have, your best situation in their heart, right? Like,
Absolutely.
man, after decades of being surrounded by people on the take, it just feels so refreshing, man.
Oh, it's
I was saying
amazing.
to somebody the other week, like meetings are a place where everybody has your best interest at heart, at least for sobriety, right?
Absolutely.
Like never in my life have I been in a place that has had that kind of goodwill.
Oh,
Like as an active, I am sure nobody in our meetings is like, I wish Milan would go drink today. Like, like they're all like, yeah, he's here, like just like I am when I see you, right?
yeah, same.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't show up to meetings, it's like, "Hey, has anybody heard from this person? Where is this person?" Blah. There's a general love, caring, and respect that happens in those rooms. And
Yeah.
for people that have never been in one of those rooms, it's really magical.
Mhm.
It's very powerful.
Okay, so we're going on to step 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Are you willing to, or have you been willing and that surrendered your list of wrongs so that you can clearly see this list of what you need to make amends for?
Yep, I certainly have. And again, this is something that's going to take time. The people that I really need to make amends to are my family. And I think that's done, and that's kind of going to be a work in progress too. There may be some questions down the road that I'll have to address. I don't know that, but the interesting thing when I was all whacked out there, my sons would phone. I'd be on the phone for like 5 minutes, and I had to get off. Like I just had to get off the phone. I was slurring, and I was just a fucking gong show. Now, like yesterday, I talked to both my sons. The first one, it was like both of them were like an hour long, and we were talking about
Yes.
all kinds of stuff, right? So, yeah, to realize that I could have been better, but I did the best I could at the time. But now I could really to have them back full time. Um, I don't think I ever really lost them, but it was close. Um, it's made a big difference. So the first people I have to apologize to or make amends to, I think I've done that. There's other people that'll come in time. The other day I went to visit a friend of mine, a coworker and a friend, and there was another guy there who we had a falling out years ago, and he happened to be there. And it was kind of amends was made. I made amends right there, uh, but it wasn't planned. It just happened naturally. and it was great. It was awesome. We're hugging each other at the end of the conversation, and and it was good. So amends were made. I'm not afraid of making amends. I mean, I all I could do is make the amends, and if it doesn't go well, well, it doesn't go well. But at least I tried. And so far, all my amends have been successful. But again, it's going to take time. It's a work in progress. The stronger I get as a person, the more able I am to admit my wrongs and be willing to make amends. But again, it's going to take time. The longer I mean, I have a list as long as my arm if I really started to think about how many people I've kind of pissed off along. Uh, but yeah, some of them I'll make amends to, some I won't. Some I'll make amends to. They're going to go, "What are you even talking about? I don't see it that way." So,
Well, and I think it's a big part of sweeping your side of the street, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
and it's it's about us clearing the space up here for us. So if there's a wrong that you're still carrying in some way, right? That's a
Hmm.
lack of self forgiveness, and I think that without communicating that to the other person, I think it's hard for us to move past that in some ways.
Well, I think the biggest person I had to make amends to was myself.
Yeah,
I mean, I had to admit my wrongs to myself. Like, what was I thinking back then?
yeah.
And that took a while. And now I can accept. No, they say never to close the door on your past, but to learn from it. And I'm still learning from it. You know,
Hmm.
and which is great. I mean, I don't dwell on the past because I can't change it. It is what it is now. Do I wish I went to treatment and quit drinking a couple of decades ago? Yeah, for sure. But I didn't for whatever reason. I have to accept that.
I've let that one go. I've
Yeah,
let that one
sure.
go. For myself, it's just like that shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Best friends with the past, man, because like they're just they're that is never coming back. And
No,
all I can do is treat this moment, with with the respect that it deserves, that I didn't
correct.
respect my life back then.
Well, I didn't respect myself.
Yeah. And so now, is your amends list complete, or do you add people to it as you remember things? Because for me, my memory is almost one of the biggest blockers. Like, I'll drive by somewhere and be like, "Oh shit!" Like, remember, and that memory literally wasn't there without that trigger, right?
I'd have to agree with you. The the clarity of my brain and my memory is getting better actually by still after nine and a half months or whatever. It's
They say
still
pause is 2 years, man. Like,
yeah, and I believe that to be true. And you're right.
yeah,
My list will is probably never ending.
yeah.
I mean, and that's okay. I think that people that aren't on my priority list, um,
Hmm.
I'll get to those people. I know I
Hmm.
will. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just going to take time. Some of these people, I don't even know where they are. It's going
yeah.
to be, I mean, where are they?
There's some people where I'm like, how hard have I looked though?
Oh, well, true enough.
Like I haven't changed my cell number in 10 years. They probably haven't either, right? But I just don't.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true. I probably could locate them if I
yeah.
truly desired.
Okay, so step 9, make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Now, have you found yourself able to surrender the results of the amends and, loving yourself and the other person enough to offer the truth without requiring them to forgive you?
Absolutely. Uh, my role in this is just to make the amends. I can't control or fear their response. I just have to accept their response. And the amends I've made, they've all turned out just brilliant. I mean, they've been absolutely uh, beyond belief. that my expectations, I had none going in. I just, this is the way it is. I got to say what I got to say. Um, the, it wasn't difficult. The response was brilliant. And down the road, I mean, I very much uh, know that some of the responses may not be as wonderful as the ones I've had, and that's okay too. Um, the important part is to clean my side of the street, as you say, and and then just not fear the response of what the other person may have to say. Just have to, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt them, and I don't want to hurt me. Um, uh, I, it's just important to just do it, just
Mm.
to do it. And whatever happens, happens. It's part of not worrying, and not living in fear. Just do it. And yeah, I've been successful. It's been successful so far.
So, how does it feel then to walk now with a clear conscience as a man who has nothing to hide?
Oh, I laugh. It's like walking on sunshine, brother. Walking on sunshine. See, they say the pink cloud, whatever you want to say. It's relieving. It's freeing. It's it's smiling. It's peaceful. It's the things that I've always wanted in my life are now actually happening over the last 9 months. The quality of my relationships with the important people in my life are far, far more advanced than they ever have been. And I always want to I want to take it to the next level. And then after that, another level. Uh, it is so freeing to live a life of honesty and love, respect. Uh, yeah, I just sleep better. Although I don't sleep very well because my body's still adjusting to my new life, but um, my conscience is clear. Uh, yeah, I just want to keep it going. I want to keep this going.
I liken it to if you have a messy room all the time, right?
Yeah,
Going and sitting in that room, you never can fully relax because you know there's something you haven't done,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But, having made an amends and releasing that is like having a clean room, and you can go in and sit in it and relax because what would be your job or what would be causing you the cognitive dissonance is gone.
yeah. Oh, I agree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets me out of my mind. It gets me out of my head. I don't have that little pestering thing in the back of my mind going, yeah, 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 yeah. It's gone. It's my brain and my thinking is so much more open and peaceful. Like the wind blows through right through my ears these days. It doesn't get it doesn't get trapped in the middle and and analyzed to paralyze. It's very freeing. It's incredibly freeing.
Now, during your amends, have you been able to surrender your defensiveness, choosing the truth, you know, choosing to love that truth more than you love being right?
I don't have to be right. I just there's no defense when I go in. Like the other day, I bumped into this guy that I had worked with. We had a few years ago. They're falling out. I just let him say whatever he wanted to. When I'm making amends, I'm not. I have to be wide open and
Mhm.
listen, hear and listen to what the people have to say. Right. Otherwise, I'm just doing it for myself, and I don't really care about that other person if I don't listen to what they're actually telling me. And so it's important. I mean, I already screwed up, so why would I defend the fact that I screwed up?
Yeah.
you know, you know. So I'm very, very, very no defense. Just here it is. I'll deal with it. I know I can
Mm.
deal with it constructively. I'm not going to get angry or fly off the handle. because then I'll have to make another amends. So no, here it is. Just interrupt me whenever you want, you know, and just let it unfold. I don't try to rehearse what I'm going to say. I just let it naturally come out. I do think about it, but I don't have it written down point by point. And just let it unfold. The conversations usually direct themselves, and that's what I've found, anyways. Um, I, I'm, I'm not going to defend myself. I'm guilty.
Has anybody returned saying, that's not really how it went, Slade? Has anybody done that?
No, no, not
Okay,
yet.
okay.
Not
Well, I
yet.
mean, like because uh, I mean, uh,
That will happen, though. I guarantee you
yeah,
that will
like
happen.
I think that's eventually there's going to be something where you think this happened and this happened. Like I know for me it did, and
Oh, yeah.
it was definitely like, oh, yeah,
I get a couple people in my mind right now that scenario is exactly what's going to happen.
yeah.
100%.
And and that's part of the surrender that we have to have going into it,
Absolutely.
is first of all, like, what bothers us about an interaction. Like, my first sponsor said, your feelings are real, the facts they're based upon might not be. And
Correct.
like, what I thought happened before I had the tools of doing a step 4 and
Yeah.
what really happened.
Yeah.
Ooh, like,
Oh, yeah.
I was convinced I knew what reality looked like. And it was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm kind of looking at it like, hey, there's reality just a little.
Well, my sober reality is a lot different than my
Yeah,
drunken reality.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now, boom, through the amends, step 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. And step 10 really for anybody out there is step 4 through 9 on a daily basis,
Yeah.
It's the first of what they call the maintenance steps. And like, now that we've cleared out the wreckage of our past, this is how we keep it effing clear. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so now, are you able to set the intention to check your motives throughout the day, surrendering new resentments before they have a chance to grow?
Yes, definitely. And I do it as quick as I possibly can. But
Okay.
sometimes it takes a little bit. Sometimes I have to really think about a little bit. Like what rather than just being reactive, I want to
Yeah.
think about what I'm going to say. So it could be
Mm.
count to 10 and then say something, or it might be a day before I get back to that. But I try to do it as quick as I can because it can't fester. If it
Mhm.
festers, then it's going to be worse. I'm going to start saying things that had nothing to do with the situation, and I don't want that. I've done that before. So as quick as I can, um, with some tact and with no anger, um, you know, owning my spot, saying like an I statement, I feel, those kind of things. And I take a personal inventory in the morning, as you do as well. I do that. Part of this wonderful, and as you are, this wonderful gratitude group. And,
Yeah.
that is just a charming, amazing way, positive way to start my day. I
Mm.
have so many things to be grateful for. So many grateful, so much. And it's part of my routine in the morning. And when I think about all the things that I'm grateful for, man, I'm pretty lucky. I'm pretty damn lucky. And to read what some other people are really grateful for, you know, it's it's just a wonderful way um, of starting a day. And I don't mind being wrong. I mean, oh well, I'm wrong. At least I'm wrong now with a sober brain.
Mhm.
I'm not, I don't really find I have to do a lot of admitting that I'm wrong. Not that I'm afraid about being wrong. I just conduct myself in ways now that I don't get into that problem. that problem,
Yeah, like living principled really reduces the number of things to say sorry for and make amends for.
absolutely.
Hmm.
And some of the things that really happen when I have to say, hey, I'm sorry for that. Sorry is just a word, but an apology with action means something. And sometimes the same little behavior kind of gets in my way. And so I have to stop that behavior sometimes. And,
Hmm.
and I don't have an example of that, but I can't repeat the same behavior because then all of a sudden my apology means shit.
It's not an amends. Amends literally means to change.
Exactly. It's yeah.
Yep.
So I when I'm going to do it, I have to be fully engaged in that and be very honest. I mean, I'm going to screw up. That's just life, you know. But it's just totally different, my friend, when I have a
Yeah.
clear mind with actually some memory, some retention.
Yeah.
That is bizarre. Um, yeah, so I do it as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Have to eat a little bit of humble pie, so be it, whatever. I mean, so what? To be wrong
I
is okay.
find I find it, for me, it's about an hour and a half. And the most dangerous place for me to be is when I feel like I am perfectly right. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
like where I'm like, whoa, whoa, I'm really perturbed, but it's 100% your fault.
yeah,
Like that right there is like dangerous old ground to me,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And sometimes those ones I have to look at overnight,
Oh,
where I'm
absolutely.
like, whoa, okay, whoa. Like I'll be walking the next morning and just be like, that was pretty subpar behavior on my part, you know. But I find like, our we had a lifelong journey of our ego, you know, needing to cover up its mistakes, right?
Yep.
Never before in my life have I ever felt like it's as okay to be wrong because it helps me learn, you know?
Yeah,
Are you finding that now inside the program?
absolutely. I mean, to be wrong is a great learning experience. To accept that you're
Um,
wrong. Yeah, well, I'm wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm, if someone comes to me, hey man, I'm totally in the wrong. I mean, you're right. I mean, it kind of just
Yeah.
that whole argument just disappears.
Mhm.
I'm admitting that I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and have you, belittle me because I've been wrong. I don't want
Mhm.
that. But yeah, I'm admitting that I'm wrong. I mean, what can I do, you know, to make that wrong better? And I'll try not to repeat that wrong. But I know I'm going to sometimes. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect.
Now, do you feel more freedom rising inside yourself with your ability to stay current through the step 10 and like loving your spirit enough to keep your side of the street clean?
Absolutely. I don't live a life of fear anymore. I don't fear. Like I don't. It's way different when I don't live my life in fear. You know,
Or regrets or shame, right?
none
Like,
of none of
that's
it.
the whole thing. It's like I'm just not carrying stuff that I used to.
No,
Like
no.
I used to carry shit like like they say it was a sack of rocks.
That is very. I don't have that. And again, it's just living a life of sobriety, man. I just don't. A lot of that stuff I just don't have. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I mean, I make clear decisions and they're clear thoughts, and they're not they're not polluted thoughts anymore.
Mm.
It's is there anybody out there that lives a life of sobriety? You know the difference. You know the difference in your soul.
Yeah, it's it's so much more connected to everything, like
Yeah,
I can feel that wrong thing. Like
yeah,
it's not like, oh, whoops, I did another wrong thing. It's like you can feel the anticipation of doing something wrong.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay, we're gonna move on to step 11 here. sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Now, do you practice prayer regularly?
Absolutely. Sometimes I do it daily. Sometimes I'll do it several times in a day. Sometimes I'll miss a few days and prayer and pray. It depends where I'm at. Um, but like I said earlier, I mean, when I do, I usually there's a lot of thanks. I give a lot of thanks.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, I pray a lot of gratitudes. That's how I
it,
start my prayers.
yeah, I have to be thankful. And I am thankful, legitimately thankful. I'm totally honest. Like, thank you for getting me this far. Like, truly, it's a bloody miracle that I'm here with you today.
Yeah.
Because, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, or whatever, there's no way this would be happening. There's no way. I mean, I've done a lot of work, but I haven't done it all by myself.
Hmm.
And praying for direction, for guidance. Just let me know what I need to do, and I'll do it. Like I'll just do it. And like I said, sometimes that voice will get back to me, like everything's just fine. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the moment where you're
Hmm.
at right now. Enjoy the freedom of where you're at right now. You know, it's important for me. I could tell when I've not um, done a step 11 for a while. I just feel different. I feel like
Yeah.
that contact. I need to get back at it, and so I'm very aware of that. Like sometimes when my cup, starts to run a little empty, it's like, come on, man, get back
Is
at
it
it.
like static and anxiety for you? Because I swear that's what it feels like for me. Like if I'm itchy bitchy and twitchy, woo, I know. I know that I'm on the wrong path for the day.
Well, you're right. If I get a little on the bitchy side, I just get right back at it. I'm not showing enough gratitude for where I'm at. I'm not being grateful. I'm not being grateful. And then it's like, okay, back up the train here a little bit, get back at it. That's why my routine, my morning routine is so important to me. When I first started this recovery journey, my wife and I went on a road trip, and I didn't attend anything. I didn't even bring any books with me, and we're gone about 5 days. And man, I started to uh, get bitchy and twitchy, as you say. And it's like I got to get back to my roots, man. I need to get back. And so I got back home, got the train back on the tracks, and that happened real quick, actually. And then a couple of weeks later, we went away for again another road trip. It was longer this time, but that didn't happen that time. I brought my stuff with me. I brought my, as Bill sees it, and a bunch of other literature that I currently do every morning now, and it helps me grounded. It keeps my connection, and then I throw a little prayer in there. Maybe a meditation. Meditation and prayer to me are pretty much the same thing. Um, you know, and it's perfect. I could take my program on the road with me whenever I would need to go. Like we're going to Mexico at the end of February, beginning of March. I could bring my program with me. Just that easy. I could still do my gratitude list in the morning and share it with my group, with the group. I could still do my readings with me. I could still have my prayer. The only difference is I won't be attending a meeting. That's the only difference. And I feel I'm powerful enough in my body right now, in my soul, that I could achieve that and still keep the train on the tracks. It's a big difference for me.
I bet you there'll be a meeting within 2 blocks of your hotel if you looked it up.
Probably, probably.
Like I'm telling you, man, some of the best, funnest meetings I ever been to were down in Mexico. Like, it might be worth a little walk one day to go to one.
Yeah.
Like I just went away to Sparkling Hill last week with Michelle, and so I'm currently kind of doing like 4 different books with my two-way prayer as well. And all I did was take pictures of the pages. Like, I do
Yeah.
2 pages per book per day, and I just took pictures of the pages for the one night we were gone, and it just it left me in the morning so that I could connect.
Yep. And that's the plan.
Yeah.
Take the show on the road.
Okie dokie. So here we go. Step number 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all our affairs. So, first of all, first question, do you feel your spiritual awakening as was the result of these steps?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
100%. Awareness, right? Awareness, acceptance, willingness.
Yep.
Absolutely. And without question, it opened my eyes to the opportunity to have a spiritual awakening and to have that part of my life.
Hmm.
Without these steps, that certainly wouldn't have happened. You know,
Has it created glimmers of serenity and contentment and joy in your life?
absolutely, 100%. It's been nothing but a positive experience. You know, people would say, no one's actually ever said this to me, but really, you actually do that? You actually believe in a power greater than you? That's tough to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Why not? Like,
Yeah.
but don't you? Well, prove it to me. Well, look at me. Look at me,
Yeah, you
man.
got him there.
You're telling me that there's no such thing. You've known me 30 years or whatever the length of time. There's obviously there's something. I'm here right now. I'm not slurring my words.
Yeah.
You know, you know. So obviously there's something there. I'm living proof of it.
Hmm.
No one's ever done that, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. That doesn't really matter to me, anyways.
Hmm.
I've never really shared too much of my journey. I have with like you and people in the rooms, my wife and my family. I've shared a lot, not everything, but a lot. Um, Other people, some friends of mine, they ask me how it goes, like how are you managing this? And I tell them, go to meetings, do lots of reading, not just AA literature, other literature as well. I have a spiritual connection, and it's a work in progress. I'm happy where I'm at currently, but I want more. I want to always take it to another level. Um, so I don't really get too in depth because you know my journey is personal in many regards, but I'll share with anybody if they want to sit down and have some time. I'll tell them exactly how do you stay sober? Well, first of all, I just don't drink.
Step one.
The step one, just don't drink. Realize I can't drink. I can't drink. That's that's the way it goes.
We're broken on that front. Like there's no fix in that. There's no like,
No,
I will be a gentleman drinker with this, tinkering with this.
that's right. It's not going to happen. Well,
Yeah.
then people are like, do you mind if I drink in front of you? Have at her. Have as
Yeah.
much as you want. Because I know myself, when I get to hear the same story 5 times because I've been drinking too much, it's time to go.
Woo,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah. And then, like, it's been a very interesting journey, and I try to practice everything that I've learned in every day. Like even go to the grocery store and open the door for a person. What the hell? How easy is that to make me
You're
feel
pushing
good?
on those powered doors and holding them open.
Well, I have that power now. I just have my spiritual contact and say, open that door.
That's right. So now, are you ready to surrender your life to service, believing that the greatest joy is found in loving another suffering addict completely?
Yep, absolutely. And I do that with mainly at meetings. Like I can't believe I actually chair meetings. Like who the what? I tell my kids that my sons, I've been chairing a few meetings. Like what, Dad, hello. Like that's service. I get
Yeah.
there early.
Hmm.
And I share and I listen. I actually listen to people's shares. I don't tune them out. I kind
Hmm.
of like, wow, that's an interesting perspective. Uh, I've had a few people. I haven't never been anybody's sponsor yet. That's probably something that I'll probably end up
I
doing. I
think
will
you're
end
going
up
to be
doing that,
great.
and but I have to be 100% committed to that. I can't
Hmm.
like I as we've all learned, half measures are useless.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be someone's sponsor, I have to be 100% committed, and so does that my sponsee, and that'll happen. I look forward to that. And now I think I'm very capable of doing that, and trying to make that difference and be supportive to that person. So that's the next level in my growth in my journey.
Mm.
Um, yeah, service. Yeah, yeah, it's important. It's important to give back. So
Mm.
many people have given me the opportunity to where I'm at right now. I need to pay back. Pay back in a
Yeah, it's a
positive manner.
circle. It's a
Yeah,
circle, man. It's a
yeah.
circle. And so now, do you practice these principles in all your affairs, or is there little compartments of your life that you're holding back on?
I don't think I'm holding back on anything. I mean, I've pretty much thrown up everything. I had to give up everything. I have to just to get better. I don't. There's no secrets. I'm straightforward. Someone asks me a question, I'm just telling it the way it is. Um, why not? Honesty, it's not the best policy. It's the only policy. Um, and I think that's the number one key, to be honest with myself. And if I'm honest with myself, then I'm honest with anybody. I got nothing to
Mm.
hide. I don't
Yeah.
tell lies anymore. I mean, I will. No, I just lied. I do tell lies.
Oh,
I'm gonna
lying
tell you
about
right now.
lying.
I tell you right now. If I go to someone's house and they say, "How was that soup?" I will say, "Man, it's the best soup I ever had." In my brain, I'm going, "That's the worst fucking soup I've ever had in my life." You know what I mean? So, you know, now I probably won't get any more dinner invitations, but you know, 100% honesty, I think, is almost impossible. Because
Yeah.
you're going to have these little white lies. I don't want to say, oh, well, honey, I put this dress on. How do I look? Well, hopefully my wife's not listening. I always say it looks great on you. Excellent, excellent. I don't say it makes your ass look fat. That's a bad example, but I'm just saying, 100% honest.
Yeah.
But thank God she's not here. If she listens to this, I'm done. But
Oh,
um,
she gonna listen. You know she gonna listen. Okay, so if your life story here were the only big book a newcomer ever read, would they see freedom rising, and would they believe that they are worthy of love too?
I hope so. I really hope so. To surrender, it's like step one was everything. Step one is the foundation for everything. Once I admitted that I can no longer do this, I cannot drink anymore. I can't smoke pot, gummies. I can't do any of that crap anymore. You know, that was the number one thing. Once that was accomplished 100%, I was able to go forward. And I hope that whatever I share, what we're doing right now, um, if it's helpful to anybody, I'm honored. I'm truly honored. Yeah, it's a blessing that I could do that. But anybody could do this. You know, anybody could do it. It's a lot of work. It's good work, though. It's good work. It's worth it.
It's a
it
new way of living. It
it's
really is.
it's it's the best way of living.
Yeah.
It's worth every moment I've spent. And I've gone to, oh, well, I have no idea how many meetings. Well, a couple hundred. I don't know. Um,
You've gone to enough.
I'm not going anymore.
Yes, you are. I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Um, it's really I hope I could be. If someone can take a picture of me, I actually have a picture of me still at treatment. A picture of me when I walked into treatment, and I looked like death warmed over. And then I looked at myself now. Wow, just the physical appearance alone is
Mm.
tremendous. It's unbelievable. You know, I mean, I looked like, I don't know. I can't even explain what I used to look like.
You look like someone slowly trying to kill themselves.
And I was
You
doing a
know?
good job of it. I was
Oh,
doing a real good job of it.
we were experts at our field.
I
You
mean,
know, I want to say this. I want to say that first of all, I am so grateful you came on today. Second of all, I am so proud of you, Slade. You have, you've gone from being an acquaintance to one of my closest friends. To anybody out there, it hasn't been said yet on the podcast, but Slade is one of my sponsees, and to go through this journey through the steps with you has been nothing short of watching a miracle flower.
uh,
I'm just amazed all the time, and so proud of you, man.
well, thank you very much. I mean, I remember our first get together. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, I was still a mess. This is after 30 days of treatment. I was still a mess. You stuck with me. You gave me encouragement. You told me about the Nooners. I
Yeah,
started attending. I've done everything you've asked me to do, and it works. And
it
it
does.
really works. It really
Yeah.
works. I don't consider you my sponsor as much as I consider you a friend.
Yeah, I
We've,
know.
we've,
We've
it's
gotten beyond that
yeah,
mentor mentee thing. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I've seen this right here. I've seen the freedom rising in you.
absolutely, and I feel it. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy spending time. I like to our nooners like a half hour early to bullshit and laugh,
Oh, yeah.
and we talk more about other things in life than
Yeah.
just the 12 steps and stuff like that. It's really grown. It's really grown. I've got to know your daughter, and I've got to know you. It's a total different thing. You've really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'm eternally grateful forever. I mean,
It's been a beautiful journey together, man.
it's been fun.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you're going to be a great sponsor. I think you're going to be a great sponsor, and I think that there's a lot of people who probably look at you with disbelief and say to themselves, "Man, if Slade can do it, I can do it." Like
I hope so.
even just in that, I guarantee you're giving some people hope. You know,
Well, that's quite a privilege. I
yeah,
take I take that as an honor.
yeah,
I mean, again, I couldn't have done it by myself. The
yeah,
day I hit rock bottom, and I said to my wife, "I need fucking help, and I need help now." Like
yeah,
now, there's not going to be a tomorrow. I'm not going
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it. And that was just that total surrender. I'll never
Yeah.
forget that. Just
Mhm.
that day alone, and remember having those memories will keep me sober for the rest of my life. I hope and I pray.
And that's the thing is that, there is no kind of honest, there is no kind of loving, and there is no kind of surrender. Those
No,
three things are either there or not. And
yeah,
that's it, you know?
yeah, that's very true.
Mm.
It's very true. And I look forward to every day when I wake up. I look forward to
Mm.
my phone going off at 3:30 in the morning with that. Oh my God, here comes the first
I wonder who
gratitude.
would do that.
I have no idea. And you're a rising person, anyways. And
Well, brother,
it's
I
fun.
love you, man. And I'm grateful you came on. We're going to do some more episodes together when you get back from Mexico. Um,
Fantastic.
Yeah. And everybody out there, tune in next episode for more recovery fun. Bye bye, everybody. We love you. Please help us help others. If you'd like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.